Anything said in this video is in my opinion and is open to criticism and objection. This video is not intended to say making music is easy, nor harass any music creator. If I went up to you and said, hey, do you think it's harder to make music or video games? Most likely, if not 100% of the time, you would say video games. Yet all the time we see video games get taken down due to licensing issues with music. Why is that? Honestly, why even have licensed music in your game if it's going to be the reason why it gets taken down? Well, allow me to explain to you the odd rules of licensed music in video games. And what better example is there than
Jet Set Radio!
In case you're unfamiliar, Jet Set Radio is like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, both graffiti, roller skates, cartoonish looks, and tons of soul. Originally for the Dreamcast, Jet Set Radio was developed by Slimebit with a team of less than 25 people in a development cycle of about a year. Despite its age and somewhat tinky movement, it was a complete and utter success, getting ports to different consoles, remasters, and even sequels, not to mention the absolutely massive fan base that had grown. Not only was skill put into this game, but also love, which isn't something you see a lot in games nowadays. But all that effort was taken away on the fateful day of December 6, 2024, when Jet Set was delisted on all platforms, as well as 60 other Sega games. Of course, if you still owned the game, you could play it, and there's always other methods. But still, this was practically removing an entire piece of history of the 2000s. So how come this happened? Well, I'm sure as you could guess, it was licensing. Jet Set Radio has a variety of music created by the developers, but also created by other artists, to enhance the experience and really make the game feel like you're listening to, well, a radio. Using music like this costs money, lots of money, and the license does not last forever. So when that license expires, you are no longer to have that song in that game. Now, Sega could just renew the license and the game would be back up, but the cheaper option is just removing it altogether. So, imagine you put all your effort into a project, only then for a company to remove all listings of it because they don't want to spend a couple of extra dollars. Not to mention, a majority of the time, using licensed music helps out the artist more than the game. How often have you heard a game soundtrack and think, hey, this music rocks, what's this from? Now apply that to a licensed track. Hey, this song rocks, who made it? Oh, it's a Rob Zombie song. I wonder what other music he's made. Notice how you don't think to check out media featuring Rob Zombie, you go straight to his music. Unless it's a rhythm game or something similar, you don't really buy a game because it has licensed music. That would be like buying GTA just so you could listen to Snoop Dogg, which obviously no one would do that, you can just go to YouTube or Spotify. So why even go through the trouble? Well, simply, it's just for the love of the game. Whether because it sounds great, it fits the vibe, or encapsulates the era of when it was made, it is merely just out of love for the project. But how about the other way around? Does a video game OST require a license to use? Well, that's entirely dependent on the decision of the company/developers. However, OSTs are not usually used in commercials or anything outside of the game itself, so these songs are not actually licensed to begin with, as it won't be stepping outside of the game itself. This is why you can use OSTs in videos and not get claimed. As well as most of the time, the copyright is pretty light in a game, as it helps promote it. I'm sure the Mindwave devs don't mind me using their music in a video, as this merely just puts the game out there more. Yet if I used a licensed song, this video would be claimed of all revenue. So, what do we gather from all this? Well, it's simple. Music licensing sucks and usually shafts the game that paid to use them. Is there any way to change this? Probably, but that's way out of my ballpark. I'm just here to talk about it. However, so to not end on a negative note, despite the delistings, the licensing probably never being figured out, and bear with me, Sony saying they will stop producing physical media, people will always archive, keep, and even remake what they enjoy, even if companies try to take it away.